All right, we're live. Straight Politicking, episode 51. I normally don't keep track of the episode count much, but I should have alerted everyone that we hit episode 50 last week.
We up there.
Yeah, we up there,
We
man.
about to be to 100 in a minute.
Yeah, and you're on 70 something with Rich at Heart with that last episode you did with
Mariah and Alnisha.
yeah. Tap in with that, y'all.
Hell yeah, was having a talk that I wanted to have with women and get they in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It was interesting.
it was. It was a female cast with female topics.
Right. Shout out Alnisha Handy. Go check out the interview she got with Alex back in 2019.
Yeah, man, she caught a case.
Yeah, she made it up out of it. So
She was fighting the case, fraud, credit card fraud, all kind of stuff. She was she was doing it up out there down south. But I had a fact check from, let me think what episode this was. We was talking about ICE with Nina Beretta, and the claim that ICE went into a LA USD graduation, man, that turned out to be a false.
So that wasn't true.
It wasn't true at all.
So hold on. Because we all heard it.
Yeah, we did. In fact, I'm gonna play the clip right now of the brother saying that he witnessed it.
I can't handle this, y'all. This is crazy, yo. I didn't think this was about to affect me like this. But our neighbor school, y'all know I work at a school. Our neighboring school, I think it's Gratas, I don't know how to say it. It's Gratas or something like that. They were having their graduation. And there's helicopters in the sky. Most of these schools are predominantly Hispanic. Gratas, I believe elementary, was having their graduation. And all of a sudden a bunch of parents have to run out because ISIS is there. This is the story that I'm hearing. And, our school goes on lockdown. Our principal, tells us it's a drill, but we know it's not a drill. And, I had to come outside. It's my break. We kind of got off of a soft lockdown. And parents had to run out because they don't have papers, and they had to leave their kids because the kids do. What type of shit is this, yo? And then kids are freaking grabbing teachers and crying on their leg because they don't know if they're about to see their parents when they get home. What the fuck is this? And we voted for this shit? 15 people just got picked up on Wilshire at the Home Depot. On Wilshire. Yo. Man, oh my God. This is not right. This is not right, yo.
And he's on a live streaming, crying about, I can't believe what I'm seeing. The ICE raid came into a graduation. It was supposed to be Gadsden Elementary. That's where he was working right there. And it turned out to be, it never happened.
Maybe that was across the street, right? And something they assumed they was going into school. It better be something close to that, and he just wasn't clout chasing.
Bro, I watched a couple reactions to the dude, and everybody was like, "What's wrong with this guy?" This guy just, and then he got emotional in the video. It looked like he started crying. I just wanted to put that out there that even though ICE is out here being treacherous as a mother effer, they did not go to Gadsden Elementary School and scoop people up during the graduation.
I want to say it had to happen at some school for it to be out there like that. But maybe he put his little extras on it. I think it had to happen at somebody graduation.
Well, I when we did the episode, I did the research on it. I took a deep dive. I spent at least an hour and a half, and I found this brother. He's the source of that story. He's the source, and then at least 2 people or 3 reacted to him and most of the reactions was like, "What's wrong with this dude?" But because he was over emotional. It was almost like he was acting. Like, for example, to use a term that you weren't aware of, I heard you on another
Crisis actor.
Crisis actor. There you go, man. You read my mind. He sounded like a crisis actor. He was just over the top. I've heard some real crisis actors on interviews, like during 9/11 back in 2001.
Right.
There's a couple interviews. You're like, now that in hindsight we have a better way of looking at things. You could tell, oh, that interview right there, he's a crisis actor for real.
Okay, so Lush was saying crisis actors, they be in stuff like that with 9/11 and things, and like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they jump in there and
it don't really be murders. Like, you feel me?
Okay, who are you talking about right now?
I'm talking about Ceddy Nash. Ceddy Nash got on the news and you told, and you know what I'm saying? You said, pow, 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 and I just heard it. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what that was.
A man is dead after a shooting outside a downtown Sacramento bar.
Let's go to the night team's Richard Sharp. He is live at the scene at 15th and S Streets. Richard.
Yeah, just the last little while, we've learned from police that they have detained a couple of people in this. They are questioning them, and they say they have stopped searching for the suspect. Now, the people they've detained won't say that they are the suspects, but they are questioning them. Take a look at the crime scene behind me here. Now, the body who was shot in this, the victim, a man in his 30s, the body is still on the sidewalk there just outside the Monte Carlo. Take a look at the video from one of our photographers showed up on scene, one of the first on scene. This happened about 8:41. Police say a police officer was nearby, heard some gunshots, and as that police officer drove up on scene, saw someone running from the scene, getting in a car, and that car speeding off. Gave pursuit a couple blocks away. That person ditched the car and jumped out and ran off. They searched for quite a while, basically had a helicopter up and really locked down several blocks. That has since been removed. The helicopter has gone away. We also spoke with some witnesses about what they heard. They said they heard an argument just before the shooting. When you heard the argument, was it a long argument? Was it just short? Did it seem like they knew each other?
It was static. And his friend was like, he not even a part of this. You know, he not a part of this.
And boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom.
But
is there a clip of him actually saying he was a crisis actor? I didn't see it.
Yeah, no, it's a clip because it was on No Jumper. And, he when Adam called him, on speaker, and we was questioning him about it, and he said he was a crisis actor.
Yeah,
he got paid $10,000 or something.
You're not normally going to see a crisis actor in some local crime news story. You know, it's usually government involvement, huge conspiracy type things where people got to jump in there. Like, for example, Alex Jones believed that the Sandy Hook shooting was not real. That was the mass shooting where a whole bunch of little kids in an elementary school got killed.
Sandy Hook, it's got inside job written all over it. Sandy Hook is a synthetic, completely fake, with actors, in my view, manufactured. I couldn't believe it at first. People just instinctively know that there's a lot of fraud going on. But it took me about a year with Sandy Hook to come to grips with the fact that the whole thing was fake. I mean, even I couldn't believe it. I knew they jumped on it, used the crisis, hyped it up, but then I did deep research, and my gosh, it just pretty much didn't happen. I mean, I've interviewed the cops and the people that saw the feds plant the bombs in Oklahoma City. You saw them stage Fast and Furious. Folks, they staged Aurora. They staged Sandy Hook. The evidence is just overwhelming. The Newtown kids, they take them, put them in our face, tell us their names, who they were. I heard an ad this morning on the radio, Bloomberg paid for locally, going, I dropped Billy off and watched him go around the corner, and he never came back, all because of the guns. Won't you just turn your guns in for my son?
And he said, these people are crisis actors. It turned out to be a real shooting with real victims from real families. They sued Alex Jones. The family sued Alex Jones and were awarded like millions of dollars, almost bankrupt the dude for going on his show talking about Sandy Hook didn't happen.
That's crazy.
Those are the type of incidences where you're going to see crisis actors. Right. Yeah.
Not a local shooting in the hood.
Nah. I've never heard of a crisis actor in a local shooting of a hood. That's insane. So, but what was the whole thing between you and Ceddy Nash? Y'all was going back and forth, or was that somebody else?
No, we wasn't going back and forth. He kind of got jumped by the No Jumper cast because they called him about bringing YSL Woody to the 60s, and he apologized afterwards, and he got chastised by the older 60s and stuff. So, and then, you know, Ant bring it to everybody like, well, he told anyway. YSL ain't the only snitch, you know what I'm saying? And then Adam called him, and he said that wasn't real. He's a crisis actor, and you know what I mean? Then,
Well, let me tell you, when that video of Ceddy Nash being on the news explaining what happened in the
that was a real news source.
Yeah,
though,
that was a real news
from
story.
Sacramento, and that's where he from.
Yeah, well, when that story dropped, that hit the internet a couple years ago.
Right.
And Ceddy Nash had addressed it a couple years ago, but he never said anything about a crisis actor. I remember him saying that he knew the news reporter. The news reporter was a personal friend of his, and he was doing a favor by helping the news reporter complete a story for the news.
Orange 15th in Sacramento is a bunch of bars. I was there to meet bitches. The news reporter is my homie. I can show you on on Facebook a couple of news reporter homies. So let's get to it. What was said versus what actually was in the goddamn report. When he say, no, what did he say? Say, you heard the conversation. I say, yeah, it's real static. And his homie say, not even a part of this S. Well, in the actual paperwork, there was never an argument. Zero. He didn't have no friends outside. It was him and Buddy. That's it. So there were no friends. There was no argument. Zero. So on top of that, who said boom, boom, boom first? Was it me or was it the news guy?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
So if you rewind the news clip, he say, then boom, boom, boom. I agree. I'm like, then boom, boom, boom. Because we running the play. You had nobody. If you look at the lights where we're at, we're in the far off distance. You don't even see the blues. If you see the blues, then you right there. Yeah, think about it. Why the hell would I be next to a dead body smiling and laughing? That's a little odd.
Maybe you're just that savage.
Possible. Yeah.
Possible.
Possible.
But, okay, so you're saying that you weren't anywhere near this.
Bro, that was a made-up story.
Oh, okay.
That was a whole made-up story.
That was it. And basically he was saying whatever he told the news reporter, it was fabricated because he was just helping the story. Now, this crisis actor excuse is brand new to me.
Right. I never heard of the term until that day.
Oh, yeah. It's, you know, if you tapped in with stuff like 9/11, the Oklahoma City bombing, Sandy Hook shooting, those three come to mind where the term crisis actors have come up. With Sandy Hook, it was untrue. It was completely untrue.
Alex Jones did come to court, but he did not testify. Instead, he spoke outside several times, including an afternoon press conference. He wasn't present in the courtroom, though, when the families detailed the toll that the lies have taken on them. The final Sandy Hook family member to take the stand, Mark Barden, the father of 7-year-old Daniel Barden.
He did have this beautiful sense of empathy and concern and care for others.
The morning Daniel was killed, Barden said he had spent some extra time with his son, watching the sunrise through the window while they cuddled on the couch before putting him on the school bus.
And I know I hugged him and kissed him and told him I loved him. But I had no way of knowing it would be the last time.
But like the other families have testified, he soon found himself having to navigate losing his son while receiving an influx of threats and disturbing comments.
The whole thing is as phony as a $3 bill.
Something Alex Jones had said on his show.
I mean, it just is the fakest thing since the $3 bill.
Earlier in the day, his wife Jackie also testified, along with Josephine Wheeler, the mother of Ben Wheeler, both describing what the lies have done to their families.
They took my identity. They took my husband's identity. They took my surviving child's identity.
Jones was not present in the courtroom during the testimony, but did hold a press conference outside, calling into question whether or not he'll end up taking the stand this week.
I'm not sure if I'll even go on the stand tomorrow because it's a trap.
Man, them families, they got on Alex Jones. Man, that dude Alex Jones was basically saying, man, Sandy Hook ain't real, y'all.
Man, I wonder what made him say some stupid stuff like that, bro. Like, people lost their kids, you know what I'm saying?
Well, the reason is because whenever there's a shooting like that, there's always, like, new gun laws. And he's anti-gun laws. You know, whenever there's a mass shooting, the politicians come out and say, we got to do something about guns. We got to get rid of guns. And the people who are pro-guns are like, no, don't use this mass shooting to get rid of my right. So he was hardcore to just say, come on, Sandy Hook, it was fake. So he got sued and lost big time.
Okay, now that I'm older, I can agree. You know, the gang shootings and stuff is senseless. Okay, that's a given. But these mass shootings, how many of them, other than the DC sniper or Christopher Dorner, and I think Christopher Dorner, it was justified, but other than the DC sniper, are black people?
Very few.
It be like even in Buffalo when he drove all that way, went to Buffalo, went to the grocery store, he was just shooting. He went to like a city where black people at in Buffalo, went to the grocery store, started shooting.
Yeah, that was hardcore.
And the dude at the theater during that Batman movie just start opening fire.
That was a white supremacist.
Okay, then you got Sandy Hook. How you say it?
Sandy Hook.
Sandy Hook.
Elementary.
It's like it's crazy.
Sandy Hook was crazy. That happened in 2012. 26 people were killed, including 20 kids.
That's crazy.
Between the ages of 6 and 7 years old. 20 kids. I think that's the youngest victims of a mass shooting is the Sandy Hook. I don't think it gets any younger than that. 6-year-olds. And yeah, that's where you'll hear crisis actors. But and you can go back and look at some old 9/11 interviews, and you could tell sometimes these crisis actors be popping up at different events. It's like, bro, how are you here in Oklahoma City, and then you're over here in New York City giving an interview of what you saw? So that's how some of them get exposed.
Yeah, that shit crazy.
Yeah.
But I know that man is not a crisis actor, bro.
Oh, no.
He's a witness.
Nah, how you gonna be a crisis actor to a local shooting in a town? It makes no sense.
Right.
Let me see if we even have a definition of a crisis actor and where that term comes about, because crisis actors are trained. They're trained people who engage to portray the disaster of a female. So, oh man, there's a whole Wikipedia entry on crisis actors, and there's even examples of them. Conspiracy theories and defamation, disaster training simulations. So yeah. Oh wow, listen, there's a paragraph here. It says advocates of the conspiracy theory include Alex Jones and outlets such as The True Pundit. In 2018, the parents of 2 children in the Sandy Hook shooting launched a lawsuit against Jones for defamation, accusing him and his website of engaging in a campaign of false, cruel, and dangerous assertions. And eventually, the families were awarded $45 million for his BS lies that he told on the internet. So, even in the crisis actor Wikipedia entry, there's a paragraph on Alex Jones.
Yeah, he the face of it. He the face of crisis actor.
Well, he's the face of false accusations of crisis actors.
Right.
Yeah. Not this, and I believe that there are crisis actors out there because they're used to manipulate the news media
and debunk things.
Yeah, to debunk certain things.
Right.
And then push something else.
Right.
So yeah, it's a real thing. But damn, a shooting in Sacramento.
When kids involved, that ain't straight.
Nah. But since you mentioned no jumper, man, let's get into this situation with 607 Unc, man, because I think it brings up a lot of different issues that are concerning what's going on podcasting in these last couple years. And the first situation was you were sitting down with 607 Unc. I guess he's playing a character. I guess he's performing to a certain degree. And he took his performance a little too far and said the disrespectful term for blood, the S word, and he immediately retracted and apologized. But this is kind of concerning because why did he feel the need to disrespect in a podcast?
All right, all right. First of all, I know how should I say. Okay, he's from St. Louis, so the week prior he had told us that he's from Hoover in St. Louis, and his name is 607 Unc because the 60s and the 107 Hoovers are clicked up out there. Now that threw me through a loop. I'm like, huh? Right? So now fast forward the next week, Adam talking about putting him and 4 extras together to do content. And I'm like, is you gonna let them know you from Hoover? You gonna let them know you got Hoover tatted? You know what I'm saying? and I think he got a little pressure. Then you know what I'm saying? Hoover, whoop, remove it. I'm straight Hoover. I'm real Hoover. All that, you feel me? So he immediately apologized, right? But I ain't take it all in till I left after, like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, was the apology genuine? And then I'm thinking like, okay, I'm thinking he was like, you know, you talk faster than you think, and you just blurt some shit out. But when he said it, I was shocked, 'cause I thought I heard wrong. I'm like, what? And he said it again, and that's what everybody saw. But he was pretty much, I think I had him pressured up with this whole Hoover thing, you know what I'm saying? And then he's back against the wall, and that's what he said, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so if you were pressing him on the issue of revealing his Hoover identity to faux extras,
Mhm.
and he got a little uncomfortable with your line of questions, he clearly knew you was a blood then. Because I think after he said it, he was like, oh, I didn't know you was blood. But he directed it towards you, right? He directed it towards you because he was uncomfortable about your line of questioning.
He directed it towards me because I'm the one, so you could say he was directing it towards me because I'm the one saying, you know what I'm saying, what I'm saying. But he said, I'm straight Hoover. Hoover whoop remover. Like, right? Hoover whoop remover. Like, hey, and then I'm like, okay, he not a dumb dude, right? My name is Munchie B. What you think, the B is from my last name? You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt, like, okay. But then I'm like, okay, you just talking about Ceddy Nash. If you ain't apologetic, why you apologizing? And now you apologizing. So if Ceddy Nash a bitch for that, you is too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man. But hey, look, the thing is, Art, and this the second time I was around the dude. The first time is the first time we was all on camera together. Young Ant, Lush, me, Adam, him, Brandon. And they had like a borderline gay joke or something. And then I don't know if he was really into what he was talking about or trying to illustrate something, but he hopped in front of Young Ant and got on his knees, right? And he was doing weird shit, getting up, dancing and whatever. So
wow,
that is a real thing that happened. I have a photo in my phone of King Pill with a boner.
Oh my God! Why you got a photo of a dick in your phone, boy? You gay?
Hey, that's what
you got to be gay. You got phones, dick.
I saw it in the Reddit.
But you admitted it. Why would you screenshot it and keep it in your phone?
I said, bro.
Well, Adam Fruity is a bitch.
I said the feds, bro. I said
y'all ain't heard what he said.
No, I said the feds. I said the feds. We call those snipers and gunners. I said you just put.
Yo,
what are you doing? I'm recording this.
What the?
He said he got dick in his phone.
He's about to top two dudes up.
You about to have in your mouth the way you on your knees.
Yo, why you on your knees in front of them?
His phone game.
After that day, I hit the No Jumper group chat and I said, hey, Adam, we need to, you know what I'm saying, the seating, because I don't want to be sitting next to that dude because he too spontaneous. Like, he unpredictable. I don't need him dancing in front of me or hopping in front of me or nothing like that, right? All right. So here it go, the second week. I'm sitting right here. It's Adam, then it's him. And he say that BS. And then I'm like, now I'm wishing I was like right next to him. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because, you hear Wack talking about some, he should have got up and swung out the air. I ain't looking stupid for nobody, bro. You could kill that. That ain't what I'm doing. But I'm like, yeah, I was like, if I was a little closer to this dude. But then again, I'm like, man, I don't know. I was cool how it played out. He apologized, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have to do all that extra shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think he apologized within a nanosecond.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he said it twice, then he quickly apologized. But I also want to kind of briefly talk about what your reaction to him was, because I felt like you handled it perfectly. You didn't crash out. You didn't overreact. You didn't do nothing stupid on camera. And you just questioned him. So I don't understand why someone like Wack would jump on a podcast saying that you're supposed to do something violent on camera so you can go to jail.
Nigga, you was supposed to jump up, spit at that nigga, throw something at that nigga, do a motherfucking Hong Kong Phooey kick the other way. You was supposed to did something, nigga. That nigga dissed once. What you say? You asked the nigga what he said and he said it again. Boom, dissed again. And then turned around and sealed the deal and told you why he said it. I don't want to hear no more of that tough B team shit, because ain't no team with you. B. You moving around with a keyway who only gonna go so far for you. And that, hey, and homies would have told him, hey, listen, nigga, what you getting involved? Nigga, that nigga said the S word, nigga, you a blood or something? So I get it.
I think him and probably a few others want me to look stupid. Talking about some swing at the air or what? Like, I'm not. That ain't what I'm doing. See, but that's what I'm saying. With the busy situation, the don't cuss me thing. I did too much, right? Yeah. But then when it comes to this, I should have swung at the air. And then if you look at the two situations, Beezy was right next to me, to the left of me.
Yeah.
And like, I could tap him, like, you know what I'm saying? This dude is right by Adam on the other side of him. But, you know what I mean? But I'm cool how it got handled, you know what I'm saying? But I did want to follow up and holler at him. But I was just at No Jumper this past Tuesday, and he didn't come. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's play the clip that we're talking about for those that may be unaware. In this clip number 1, this is where 607 Unc uses a disrespectful term. Go ahead, play clip 1.
About it.
I'm gonna speak on it, but I ain't gonna be nobody proof. I ain't gonna be no proof. He finna knock me out first.
You ain't got no confidence in your squad?
He say he knockout king. What if he really the knockout
hold
queen?
On, is you gonna let him know you from who?
What if he really from St. Louis? We don't squabble. See, y'all LA different. Y'all brag about fighting.
Is you gonna let 4 extras know you from Hoover?
I'm from Hoover. But
is you gonna let him know that?
You gotta listen to me. In St. Louis, y'all brag about fighting.
I know in St.
Y'all brag about fighting. In St. Louis, we brag about killing, gang.
No.
We do murder.
Yeah, you guys kill a lot of people.
We do murder. We don't do no fighting. I can't do no wrestling with no man unless I finna fuck him.
Hey, listen.
It's not like me.
I ain't finna wrestle no man, gang. I don't do no squabbling.
Is you gonna let 4 extras?
Yeah, I don't do no squabbling. I'm not fighting. Yeah, is that what you want to hear? I don't.
We're not
squabble.
asking you to fight him.
I don't catch fades.
That's a scary nigga.
I don't catch fades, nigga. I kill. I'm from St. Louis, gang. Stop playing with me.
You ain't in St. Louis.
I kill.
Everywhere St. Louis.
You ain't in St. Louis.
Everywhere St. Louis, gang. We don't fight. Name one nigga from St. Louis that can fight.
I know some.
Come on, gang. They use it. We don't use that. We use the tool.
My family all on Cardinal.
Okay, that was actually that's the first clip of before he gets to using the word.
Mm-hmm.
So, were you feeling that it was getting it was kind of escalating, or did you feel like you guys were just having a normal back and forth, or can you feel the escalation there?
Now that I look back at it, you could tell, but at the moment, nah.
Yeah.
I didn't feel no escalation here.
But hearing 607 Unc in that clip, it seems like he
was kind of cornered in.
Yeah.
Like, he ain't usually in that position. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and let me just address this thing about St. Louis fighters. Man, St. Louis has a history of some boxers coming out there, namely...
What's to do with the missing tooth?
Yeah, I was about to say, namely, the Spinks brothers.
Right.
They're the first brothers ever to win heavyweight titles in 150 years of boxing. The Spinks brothers, straight out of St. Louis.
Somebody else, too, though.
There's a few, but I just wanted to mention the Spinks brothers.
Where's Mayweather from?
He's from Michigan.
Okay.
I believe he's from Flint. Some people try to throw Detroit on him, but I think he's from Flint, Michigan. And also, Michael Spinks was the one that got knocked out by Mike Tyson. That was an incredible fight. That ended Michael Spinks' career, by the way. That was his last fight, and he never fought again. He was an undefeated heavyweight champion. Mike Tyson knocked him out in the first round, and we never seen Michael Spinks again. And then, of course, Leon Spinks, the other brother, he beat Muhammad Ali in 1978. Even though that was an older Muhammad Ali, Ali was the champ in 1978. So you can't take anything away from Leon beating Muhammad Ali, even though some people will say, Ali was near the end of his career. But yeah, 607 Unc, you better represent, man. The Spinks brothers is from St. Louis.
Yeah, man, they got fighters out there. I mean, we know that St. Louis had the murder rate one of these years or a couple years in a row or whatever. But come on, bro.
All right, we're gonna go to clip 2 of 607 Unc. This is where I was mistaken. This is where he uses the derogatory term. Clip 2.
Gang, we from St. Louis, gang. We pulling up from Backdoor City. I'm going to play like it's good, and I'm pulling back up with a switch. That's how we do it. And say, I'm not playing, gang. I'm going to play like, they going to say, you ain't from Hoover. I'm going to say, damn right, I'm not from Hoover.
Okay, so simple question. Are you going to tell Flores that you have Hoover tattooed
Depending
on
on how I feel. If I feel like I got the ups, let me tell you how it go. If I feel like I got the ups, yeah, I'm going to say I'm from Hoover. If I feel like I don't got the ups, I'm going to say I'm not from Hoover.
You don't got the ups.
I'm going to slide back on it later. I'm from St. Louis. Nigga, I'm a Caliber.
Bald head man gonna pack you
I
out.
don't even follow 4 extras.
Anybody gonna
But
pack
I know
me
some
out.
hoes that do. I'm gonna have them DM this Hoover tat.
Oh.
Come on, gang. I'm straight Hoover.
You gotta bang your shit.
I'm Hoover slob remover.
What?
Hoover slob remover.
Hey, bro, watch your mouth.
Oh,
Bro.
I forgot.
You forgot what?
I forgot. I didn't know you was blood. I forgot, gang. That's why I'm mama.
No, don't let this content shit go.
No,
too
I forgot
far,
you was
nigga.
blooding. Listen, I forgot you was blooding for real.
You gotta watch out.
No, I thought he was blooding. I forgot he was blooding. I didn't know he was no blood. I don't want to get my ass.
Yeah, but you shouldn't say that even if he's not around.
No,
That's a bad one.
Hey, bro. See, people let these characters go too far, bro.
Gang, I apologize. I said sorry. It was an accident. On real shit, no content. But that's when you give me the character Crip. That's what you say back in the day. So when you raise that kind of, you gotta understand. I'm a Crip for real. So you bring it out of me. That's what happened. But I apologize though, because I ain't that right now. I'm everything. But that's just a past shit.
I think it means something
we used to say that.
different out there. Type
No, it don't mean shit. Nigga, that mean the same shit across the globe. But like.
But if I apologize, it should be over, right?
Yeah, but this is
that's sincere apology.
Yeah, no, I understand, but you shouldn't be dissing nobody.
No, I ain't trying to. Listen, you know when certain shit come out, we doing this shit.
Hey, I believe that 607 Unc knew you was a blood. It's so obvious. That's why he said what he said, and then he realized, oops, I probably shouldn't have said that. And his excuse was, my bad. Here's why the excuse, to me, the excuse is not sincere. Because it shouldn't matter if there's a blood on that podcast or not. He shouldn't be using that term at all. S word, C word, any derogatory term. It don't matter who's present. We see you on the podcast. So it's irrelevant who's present. That was for you, Munch, but he realized he made a mistake.
Yeah, he didn't know the magnitude of what he said. You know what I'm saying? That's what I starting to realize. I had a whole week until the next Tuesday to try to juggle in my head, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then I'm like, damn, all right. I'm like, I should go up there and just have the homies whoop them out, make that my last Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? Then I was like, no, for I was just juggling around a gang of, you know what I'm saying? And like, but then I settled in, I'm like, I'm just gonna come Tuesday. I want to holler at him and let him know it can't happen again. You know what I'm saying? Cause he used to being a troll. He not used to being cornered in. You know what I'm saying? And look, he was pressured up. This probably the only time he been like real like feeling like cornered in. Cause he usually doing the trolling. But I wasn't trolling though. I just wanted to know, was you gonna tell this fool you from over? Like, cause Adam said he about to put y'all together to do some content. So is you gonna let him know that? You know, he said, fuck out. He started saying some other shit, talking about fighting and wrestling and shooting and some stupid shit.
Yeah, I think this trolling part, and I think Adam and others like Adam think that the trolling is good podcasting, and I want to be one of the first. I'm sure there's others that might agree with this, but trolling is not good podcasting. Trolling should have nothing to do with podcasting. If people want to troll, let them troll. But to incorporate trolling into a podcast, where a podcast is supposed to be both entertaining but educational, but having all these trolls and them saying what they want to say, it's going to get somebody hurt, and it's going to lead to something really bad happening. Because if you was to react to that, Munchie, all you would have done was had the police on you, and you would have been a target for an investigation. And I like the way Lush tried to jump in there and
try to deflect a little bit. Like,
yeah, hey,
it may mean something different.
Yeah, no. You quickly cut that off. That word, the S word, does not mean anything different in any other American city. It's derived from Los Angeles, and it is the derogatory term for Bloods. I remember I had a homeboy from Fruittown Brim, Big KB. He refused to say the word Saab for the car, Saab. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if they still make Saabs. But he would never even want to say Saab because it sounded too much.
Yeah, he's super duper whooping.
No, that's a young KB. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, they they stick to that code. They stick to that. As you get older, these things don't mean as much, but it is still a respect thing.
And then another thing, I really when I doubled back and I was expecting him to be there that Tuesday, I was just trying to get a point across that you can't, you know what I'm saying, that you can't do that again, bro. But throwing any threats towards his way on camera and all that, I was gonna try to refrain from that, because if he felt he's gonna be riding around and moving around LA, bro, you disrespected the Bloods, not just me. And somebody do something to him, I don't want it looking like, oh, Munchie B and it's standing for me, or you know what I'm saying?
No, he quickly realized. He quickly realized, and I think, like you said, he was in character. And when you're in character, sometimes you just let it go. You know, you let it go. That lets you know he's just truly there performing. He's there. He's a performer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I don't think these types of trolling performers are good for podcasting. But hey,
let's see, Adam liked that he trolled, right? But he didn't want him to troll that far. He didn't. He didn't want him to diss nobody gang.
Nah,
you know what I mean?
Nah,
but he know exactly what this dude be doing. You know what I'm saying?
I disagree. He Adam loves that.
No. That guy.
He made it into a clip. No. If he didn't care for it.
No. That's look. See, as soon as he said that S word,
yeah,
I knew before I left out of there, this is about to be all over the place. Like, if he wouldn't have, it would have been a clip anyway. Like, it's live. You know, people be clipping as they watching. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but when you yourself, when the owner of the original content makes a clip out of it, that really blasts it even more. You know, because
but you got to expect it out of Adam. Though.
And then some people are only going to react to it because they're watching the clips. They're not going to watch the whole 4 hours. You know, how many people are not watching 4 hours of content?
Nah, but these dudes will be watching it live as it go, and they clip it as they go along.
Yeah, but the people who are watching it live is a smaller group of people who are actually going to watch a 10-minute clip. You know, so
no. I'm saying, but why it's going live? These content creators be watching it live and trying to look for some clippable things and be clipping as the live go along and be the first one to drop it.
Yeah, but that's
because before he dropped it, it was clips already out. Wack had it on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? As soon as I got in the parking lot.
Yeah, but I think Adam loves this. I mean, he said the same thing about 4 extras. We'll talk about that in a minute. Oh, I don't think 4 extras. I didn't approve or support or want 4 extras to do that. But at the end of the day, it was good content. I didn't think that was good content.
No.
That's not good content. That's terrible content.
I'm gonna tell you I think he wanted them to do that. But I'm gonna tell you what after we run the next clip or whatever clip got to do with 4 extras. I'm gonna tell you what the part he didn't want. But I think Adam did want that, because that's probably the most viral clip he got in a very long time. With this 4 extras and Unc dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he wanted that for sure.
All right, before we go to the 4 extras part, I just want to say St. Louis sees historically low crime in the first 2 months of 2025, and even in 2024, the city of St. Louis had a significant decrease in homicides in recent years. And I bring this up because a lot of people want to brag about how tough or how violent their cities are, but they're living in heydays. They're living in the past. Yeah, St. Louis did have high murder rates in the late 80s, early 90s, but in the last several years, St. Louis is nowhere near the violence that it once had, which is a great thing.
Well, they had a spike during when Hurricane Katrina hit, and a lot of people left from New Orleans and they came to St. Louis, and the crime rate went up then.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a link here in the show notes to 2 articles about St. Louis crime. It is not as high as 607 Unc claims. There was a time when it was, but in recent years it's been low, and it's been like that here in Los Angeles too, which is what we all want. I don't even understand why people want to brag about how many murders you got in your city. That's nothing to brag about. But this there's a 43% drop in homicides in St. Louis between 2020 and 2024. And that's significant. So I don't think people are pulling out as many switches as 607 Unc.
So when COVID hit, the crime declined.
Yeah, the crime did decline. Actually, the crime declined in a lot of cities, but then it went up and
everybody had money, so everybody was happy, huh?
Yeah, but then that last year of COVID, I'm not sure if we're saying 2023. It did rise in some cities, but St. Louis is good.
Right. Shout out my family in St. Louis.
Yeah. Okay, so you said that 607 Unc really had never been cornered like that before when you was questioning about his Hoover tattoo.
Right.
But then a couple days later, I feel like he got really cornered when he decided to do an episode with 4 extras.
And the Hoover tattoo didn't come up. Like that's what I was asking. Like, bro, is you gonna let this dude, you feel me? No, use remove it. It is mine. Hell no. That's what he was smart. He probably wanted me to shut up about it. You feel me?
All right, let's play clip number 3. This is a short clip of the episode between 607 Unc and 4 extras.
Oh, you got an interview with him. You know what I did? I said, oh, that's good. Yeah. Set it up. What time?
No.
I said, what time? As soon as I got here. Take your ass to the what?
No, I love you.
Bro,
extra, I love you. I love you.
Niggas,
I love you.
Hey, look,
I love you, bro.
Hold on, cuz. Now,
that's real shit.
Now, hold on.
That's real street shit.
Listen, cuz. This is what I'm telling you, cuz. And since I talked to you, come on, nigga, I'm not about to rush you. Just kick back.
I don't know that.
But look, cuz.
How I know that?
Look.
How I know you ain't finna rush me? How the fuck I know I'm make it out of here? That's what I'm saying. How do I know that? It's 50 niggas out there when I walk out there. I'm just saying, you still raging. I'm trying to let you know what I'm here for.
Hey, look. This is what I'm trying to tell you. This is what I'm trying to tell you right now. This is what I'm trying to tell you right now.
Got me surrounded.
Look, this is what I'm trying to tell you right now. Watch what you say up on here, cuz. Cause these think you can't be caught. You could be caught. You could be found. You could, nigga, on the set, what's the name? I'm gonna get up on you. Just like I just got up on you. And the first thing I'm gonna tell you, you gonna die right here. I smoke your ass and niggas, you gonna die at no jumpers, niggas. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna flatline you right here and go to jail and laugh at your ass while you on a projector dead. And I'm gonna be doing burpees in jail, laughing at your ass while these bitches picking up my collect calls.
I think he really got cornered during that moment.
I think that was needed. That was needed. I don't think he's seen that many gang members in one place at one time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was needed. But see, I seen a couple people on the internet that don't like how he played with the culture and play with the gang thing. Cartoon being one. Cartoon played a clip where he said basically all Crips is snitches or something like that. But 4 extras got on him about, you know what I'm saying anything on camera and all that. But see, 4 extras came with a chip on his shoulder anyway because he said some borderline gay stuff about 4 extras and about going back and forth to jail and some of my carrots and you know what I'm saying. So 4 extras already on him about that. So as soon as he came through the door, he collared him up and got at him and you know what I'm saying. And then they went on camera. So along with the the disrespect to the gang culture and making a joke out of everything, he played with his sexuality. You know what I'm saying?
And at that time, 607 Unc was quote unquote trolling, right?
I guess you just think everything is content, but it ain't. Like you know what I'm saying? That shit, like ain't nobody playing with their hoods or sexuality or you know what I'm saying, and gay jokes and all that. Like he sat right next to me and said, he's talking about him doing content with Wack. He said, "Gotta see his asshole first." I'm like, huh? He said, "Yeah, I gotta see if his asshole wrinkled. I could tell if some." I'm like, man, this shit ain't crazy. So, yeah, no. See, 4 extras, he came with a chip on his shoulder anyway. He came right through the door and collared him up and walked him to the corner and breathed on him. You feel me? And yeah, and I think this clip, I think Adam loved this shit. But see, what he didn't like, because Adam was in Texas, he was trying to figure out why that many people got in. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't 50 from what I hear. It was like 30, 35. And that's too many people because they don't allow that much company. So that's what he was like pissed about. Like, why did that many people get in?
Well, that's what he's saying he's pissed about, but really...
You ain't buying it?
Nah, I ain't buying none of that. Nah.
because 4 extras come with company all the time, but never that amount of people.
Look, the 30 deep really is a part of why 4 extras was so energetic against 607 Unc.
Oh, so you agree with 607 Unc then? Because 607 Unc said he's a coward and he only did all that because he had 50 people with him.
Well, you can't discount the 50 people or the 30 people. I'm not saying that I wouldn't call 4 extras a coward, but what I'm saying, it's human. It's just natural human instinct. You got 30 people right outside the room, you gonna stick your chest out a little bit more than you normally would. You know? So that contributed to the episode, which contributed to creating the content that Adam says at the end of the day, it turned out to be great content. Well, it was great content because he had 30 people outside the room. If it was just faux extra up there by himself with Spody Face, for example, his cousin, and it was 607 Unc, it would have been a different episode.
Think so?
Oh, yeah. It would have been a different episode. Not to say that faux extras needs 30 people to turn up, but it would have played out differently.
I just wanted to know, because 607 Unc is a little dude. I want to know why this day in particular he came that deep.
Yeah, I don't know, but come on, let's talk about the group dynamics. When your group is bigger, you out there woofing louder. That's just what it is.
Damn, I get him.
I'm not saying that I'm not even saying faux extras gets down like that. I'm just saying in general, when your group is bigger, your bark is louder. And that could be a problem when you're coming up to studios doing podcasts. I always tell people that come up here, sometimes I forget. I'm like, bro, we got a small studio. I got another room that we have engineering in. I got another room that's basically storage. I can't accommodate a whole bunch of people. 30 people would definitely not be able to come up in this studio. You know, you could bring 1 or 2 people and that's it. But yeah, I think that's a recipe for disaster when you come in 30 deep.
See, but okay, 607 Unc had 4 dudes with him, so I think he thought he had some protection. He had like some dudes from Watts. You know what I'm saying? And that didn't work.
Nah,
you know what I mean? that was an epic fail. But you know, he deserved that right there though, bro. He because I think he think that this like shit is a game. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think the part that faux extra said that I agree with 1,000%. Because I didn't. First of all, let me say I didn't like what he did to the dude because he pretty much marked him out on camera.
I did.
I know.
I think no. Because I think he think California is a joke, and I don't think he's seen that many gangbangers in one place before. So he looking like whoa.
That's why the part where he says you need to watch what you say on these podcasts.
Right.
That one line right there, he could have delivered that line in a way that didn't come off so bullyish. He bullied the dude. Let's keep it real. He bullied that dude. He had this dude saying, I love you. When you get to saying I love you, you already scared. You already scared, you know. But that line right there is what everybody should pay attention to. You need to watch what you say on these podcasts. That goes to all you trolls. But of course, most of these podcasts are based on promoting the trolling. You know, like Brick Baby. Brick Baby was a troller. You know, Brick Baby wasn't there as.
Brick Baby got like that when he started hanging around him though.
Maybe so.
When, all the thing about the Gucci Man, like Gucci Man got some good pussy. All that putting on the baby oil when he was across from him when he did that. The baby oil shit.
Yeah.
He start hanging with 607 Unc and start acting like that because he wasn't doing that at first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think that Brick Baby did kind of morph into that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not a fan of that. Like, for example, you and Young Ant, you guys are always who you are when you're on the show.
And that's what they pointed out the other day, Lush and Adam, because I guess one of these podcasters said me and Ant is there to take Adam's slander. But Adam like, man, y'all two the ones that ain't got no slander like y'all, because y'all probably get the most respect out of all the cast members that been here, that been employed. You know what I'm saying?
But there's a lack of trolling with Young Ant and Munchie B.
Right.
And I think it's perfect. I don't even think there needs to be any trolling. But of course, the way that platform is run, the trolling is invited. The trolling is part of the show. You know, but I see that he has a lot of respect for bringing you and Young Ant on the show. He knows he's not going to ever get no trolling at it, y'all two. Y'all coming there as who you are.
Right.
You're not going to be a Brick Baby, a Crip Mac, a faux extra. I think that dude, what's his name, Pill?
King Pill.
King Pill?
Yeah.
I never met King Pill, but I got to think he's trolling.
No, he trolling.
Yeah.
He trolling. And he could get serious and talk records. I know hollered at him. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And when you think about it, a lot of these guys, the only time you're ever going to see them is on No Jumper, you know, and then once they make a name for themselves, maybe they'll hit other platforms the way Crip Mac did.
Yeah, Crip Mac made his rounds.
Yeah, he made the rounds. He made the
his
rounds. And you know, I passed him up. He came to me.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he came to me before he was on No Jumper. He came to me on Facebook. We had a brief exchange. I checked him out. I was like, "Nah, I'm good," because I did. He didn't seem real to me. He didn't seem real to me. You know, no disrespect to Crip Mac. I like telling real stories from people who grew up, were born and raised in their areas, and have real experiences.
Right.
I don't think Crip Mac brings that. So for me, it was a no-go. I don't know where you were born. I don't know where you grew up. I don't know how you became a 5'5" neighborhood Crip. I don't know how you jumped from this to that, but it wasn't a story I wanted to tell. And then like maybe 2 years later, I'm like, oh shoot, there he is on No Jumper.
Yeah, he started going viral on Instagram, and then he landed on that tattoo. Did it? That tattoo. If minus a tattoo, wouldn't nobody paying attention.
Yeah, I think he had a plan. I think Crip Mac had a plan.
Nah, that was an accident.
No, because he was trying to come on my channel.
Yeah, but
2 years before.
But him going on Instagram and everybody paying attention to him, I think that was an accident.
No, I think he had a plan.
He's not smart enough to have a plan.
I think the plan doesn't require a lot of intelligence. It's just about making a name for yourself. And all you got to do is just use social media and try to get interviewed. That's it. The plan to make a name for yourself is go on your own social media and try to book interviews. How smart you got to be to do that?
Hey.
Luce Cannon. Luce Cannon did the same thing.
Hey, but look. He branded himself by putting that tattoo on his forehead. If it wasn't for the tattoo, it wouldn't nobody even pay attention to him.
Well, I don't know. I don't think the tattoo, like Luce
minus the tattoo, the world wouldn't care about Crip Mac.
No, because I think that he became a character despite the tattoo.
The thing that got everybody attention, the homies asking when I'm a cover, I'm never getting a remove. I'm a daughter, and that went viral. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was like, "Cuz, they say ain't no sixes go." Like that went viral. Then it took off, and then he kept doing videos on Instagram, and then like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I think he created a character despite the tattoo and would have became who he became. Maybe the tattoo accelerated it. I don't know. But Luce Cannon did the same BS. You know, let me jump on the internet. Let me book some interviews. His plan was, I got to tap in with Wack. If I tap in with Wack, then I can tap in with these other platforms.
His plan was failing miserably for years and years and years and years until Wack started dealing with him. First, he was dissing Wack.
Yeah.
Talking about Big U run LA and you a snitch and all that. And then they joined forces because they both was against Big U. And then Wack used him to try to get back at Big U. But now I think Wack regretted.
Yeah, it boomeranged on him. Like I said in the previous episode, a lot of these plans are gonna boomerang, and that Adam and Wack did that. They created this. I don't know. I don't want to say he's a monster because he ain't really stomped nothing out. He's just a pathological liar and fabricator.
Man, he the biggest liar on the internet that touched the internet for sure.
Yeah.
I got a song with Drake. He got shot 10 times.
Also, when it come to Crip Mac, he was trying to rap too, and his rap to me I listened to a song. This was before he went viral. I was like, nah, this guy does not have it.
4 Extras or Crip Mac, man, they both horrible, bro.
Yeah,
both horrible, bro.
Hey, I just heard a really cool song between J.O. Felony and Baby Runner from 40s, and it was pretty dope.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
It's new or it been out?
It just can't. I just saw it on Facebook. I think it's new. But I also wanted to just...
Yeah, Baby Runner could rap, though.
Yeah, Baby Runner be telling some hell of a stories.
Mm-hmm.
But before we move on from the 4 Extra clip, I do want to say that his threats and his aggressive demeanor towards 607 Unc can get him in trouble.
That's if 601 do the police thing.
I mean, he did it on camera.
He ain't on. You can't file charges for somebody. He ain't on parole no more. None of that. If 607 want to go file some charges and be gay, then that's the only way.
But he doesn't have to file anything for the police to investigate faux extras for making threats on the internet. You don't need a victim.
You don't need a victim. What you mean you don't need a victim?
You don't need a victim to file a case, to build a case, to charge. You don't even need a victim to charge someone. You could be charged with when the victim is a Jane Doe or a John Doe. I had a case out of Pasadena where this guy got charged for shooting a person that the person who was apparently shot never came forward. The police never even identified who he shot at, and he still got charged. And in the indictment, it says victim John Doe.
Well, faux extras didn't mean that shit. He was in character. You know what I mean? He podcasting. He's in character.
He's in character.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't mean that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the feds ain't that stupid now. Unfortunately, we seeing people getting indicted. We seeing people getting arrested. And even though the no jumper beating thing, nothing has happened with that yet. I still know that's coming. And people I think faux extras need to be careful on what he says on the internet, unless he likes going to jail.
But that dude played with his sexuality and you know what I'm saying? So that could send anybody on one.
Yeah, but you don't got to do that in the podcast. You could do that after the podcast is over, pull him to the side and say, hey, bro, I didn't like XYZ. You doing this stuff on camera, it becomes evidence.
Nah, people like that you got to embarrass in public because he'd get on camera and think shit a joke again. Now, the way he did it, you can't. You know what I mean?
He could have pressed him off camera.
Which he did. And
then he could have told him, you need to issue me a public apology.
Nah, but see, you'll never know if it's sincere with him. Oh, my mom, I apologize. I'm sorry. I love you. Man, nah, bro. I think what happened needed to happen. You know what I'm saying? I think that needed to happen, bro. Because, man, it's a lesson in everything. See, like, with me, I told myself, I shouldn't have been talking no gangbang, nothing with him anyway. The same way when that little gay jokes come up, I get quiet. Whenever he talking some GD, BD, Vice Lords or any gang shit, I just need to just sit back. I should have, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lesson in everything. Why am I talking any gang shit with this goofy?
Okay, but these lessons don't need to be on a podcast. That's what I'm saying. I mean, what did we do 10 years ago, 15 years ago, before all of this was a thing? We didn't say go get a camera. We're about to teach this man a lesson on camera. And that's where I think it's getting out of control. And then that's what's feeding law enforcement information. Hey, this guy just got out of jail. Does he want to go back? Is he off? You said he's off?
Yeah, he off papers.
Okay.
He off papers.
Because that's a violation right there if he was still on. They could have violated him.
That's all entertainment, man. He did that for the cameras, though. They ain't gonna bother him for that. But I know that was needed, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, people... I don't like people that do shit in public and then apologize behind the scenes and shit.
Yeah.
So he got on camera and talked about some gay shit with him. You need to get embarrassed on camera.
That's why those public apologies are important. But I think for 607 Unc, it works because he's accessible. But we got a lot of people on the internet. I won't say a lot, but we got a small amount of people on the internet that aren't accessible. They're 3,000 miles away. You're never gonna see them. And they're talking that same smack. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
What's the chances of you crossing paths with a guy that's hiding out 3,000 miles away?
Yeah, man. Shit. I don't know. That's some scary shit. That's some scary shit. You should, like, anything you willing to say over, because evidently that's how you feel over a podcast, broadcast, whatever. You should be able to communicate that to that person in person. You know what I'm saying? But, these folks be weenies.
All right, man. 19 members or associates of the Mexican Mafia were charged in a murder conspiracy targeting a well-known rapper. That's the title of this article. And that well-known rapper was Swifty Blue from Paramount, who himself was on No Jumper for a minute before you got on there.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about his music, though. You ever heard anything?
Never listened to his music, but...
I just heard his name. Only because of no jumper.
I believe I did his very first interview. This was in 2020, and he was okay. This is when what year? Okay, this is when a couple of Hoovers were assaulting the Mexican ladies that were selling the elote.
I can't remember what year that was. I remember that though.
Yes, it's on my channel. I believe it was 2020, and I did a video where I pulled up in the Hoovers, and it was Jap 5. This is the first time I met Jap 5. It was another Hoover with Jap 5, and then it was Swifty Blue. And them three did a nice little short 10, 15, 20-minute video on Mexicans and blacks coming together. And they talked about how they DP'd that young Hoover for doing whatever he did to the Mexican lady. And that was the day I met Swifty Blue. I didn't know who he was, never seen him before. He wasn't even viral. It wasn't on any of these shows. And then, boom, I started seeing Swifty Blue not too long after that.
Hey, I think they need to respect their people if they want everybody else to respect their people, because them how you pronounce what lady you call it?
The elote.
Elote lady, like them the people that get taxed by the Mexicans. Why y'all taxing your own people? We already know the culture how the Mexicans get in, and then if some young blacks like book them or rob them and shit, then they in an uproar. I don't think they should be robbing them either, but how could y'all? You know what I'm saying? I don't get it, but you know.
Yeah. So Swifty Blue eventually made a name for himself in these last 5 years, and let me see if I have a video. I just want to know what the date of this video was when I interviewed Swifty Blue. I want to say it was in 2020, but he became a rapper. He made a name for himself, and then he started getting pressed by some of his people. Here it is here. Black and Brown, I titled this video, Black and Brown Come Together and Youth Apologizes for His Involvement in Mexican Prejudice. And this was May of 2020. This was right when COVID was brand new. May of 2020. And Swifty, I think I might be the first person to post a Swifty Blue content in this interview that I did with him. And then shortly thereafter, he started making a name for himself, and boom, he got on the radar of a lot of Southsiders. End up going to the county jail, and they put a green light on the dude. Here, let me read a little bit of this article to give some insight. It says 19 members and associates of the Mexican Mafia prison gang were charged by L.A. District Attorney's Office for their role in the conspiracy to murder well-known rapper. Popular on social media. The Sheriff's Department, the FBI, San Gabriel Task Force all investigated a Mexican Mafia attempts to locate and murder an intended victim in a conspiracy that began in December of 2022. So now this is about maybe 2.5 years later from when he first did the interview with me, when this started happening. The conspiracy to murder the victim is alleged to have been coordinated by Mexican Mafia and several high-ranking associates. The coordination of the murder conspiracy occurred in the L.A. County Jail, within the California prison system, and from inside the L.A. County Jail system, too. The defendants engaged in criminal conspiracy to murder an individual by acting as rogue judges, juries, and executioners, according to the FBI. I won't read this whole article. I'll put a link in it. But basically, they got in his cell. They stuck him up a few times. The COs rushed in. They got him out of there. According to the L.A. County Jail records, he was released on a ORD. He was ordered release, I guess, because he had a separate case going. They ordered him out, and I don't know whatever happened to the case he had going. But here we are 3 years later, and 19 people are indicted for stabbing him in the county jail.
So what was he greenlit for again?
I don't know. They don't get into the specifics in this article. I do have the indictment. The indictment is about 20 pages long. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but there was a part of the indictment, and I'm gonna post a video of the indictment. I'm gonna go into the specifics of the indictment, but there was a video. There was a quote in the indictment where Swifty Blue, I guess they're monitoring phone calls, where Swifty Blue says, "I effed up, y'all. I know I effed up. I want to make it right." And some Southsiders say he's cool. where other Southsiders say he's not cool. So it got into a disagreement between who was calling the shots. So some of them were confused. They're like, hey, Swifty Blue is on the tier with us. What are we supposed to do? Oh, well, he said he's good now. Oh, yeah, such and such, gave him a pass. And then maybe a couple days later, another person, chimed in, was like, no, he don't have a pass. It's on. And then he gets stabbed. So there was a little confusion on whether or not he was in bad standing. So, yeah, he got stabbed up, and 19 people were taken into custody. Most of the guys are from Paramount and from the southeast part of L.A. And it's all tied into the Mexican Mafia. That's where the hit came from.
I want to know what he did to get greenlit. We'll look deeper into it.
Yeah, I'll post a video about what he did, if anything. But I can tell you this. Whatever he did in terms of the way this politics goes, it was minor. It was either you ain't paying taxes, and they're thinking, here's another thing that a lot of people believe that ain't true. They think Swifty Blue is probably making a whole lot more money than he really is. They see him on No Jumper. They see him on all these interviews. They see these views. They're like, hey, bro's making millions of dollars. And it's like, no, he ain't. He ain't making millions of dollars.
Right.
So there's a lot of misunderstanding with this internet game. Have you ever got that from like people that know you? Like, damn, Munchie's everywhere, man. Munchie's
assuming I'm rich.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, that happened with me a few times when I created the website back in the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah, we ain't gotta say his name, but one person said, man, he making millions off us.
Yeah. There was a dude here in LA.
Right.
That he came home from jail and had, Alex Alonso's making millions and millions of dollars off his website. Somebody tried to tell him, nah, that's not the way it goes. And he was like, nah, hell no, that's exactly the way it goes. And eventually I crossed paths with the dude, and, I had my back and forth with him.
And then there was another one that's an actor, and he said you made millions off him, and he think you owed him some money.
Hey, we could say his name. I got no problem saying his name. But yeah, I'm doing a documentary in the Hoovers with H Crown, and this dude pops up, Deandre Bonds. I did an interview with Deandre. Stacy from the Wood, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, look, I did an interview with Deandre Bonds when he was in prison over the phone when everybody forgot about him. I put the clips up, and everybody in the comments was like, oh, I always wondered what happened to him. He had already been in prison for like 5 years at that point. And him and I were good when he was in prison. He would say, hey, man, can you go to my mom's house, get a box of pictures, scan them for me, and put them on my MySpace page? I was like, for sure. I was doing all the little things for him, little errands, whatever he needed to help the fans keep remembering him while he was doing his prison time. Dude gets out of jail, sees me over there in the Hoovers, and wants to go on a tirade about how much money I made off of him.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We was in the parking lot of the Hut.
Yeah.
And then some of the dudes from Hoover had to tell him, hey, man, kick back. But I'm gonna say this, though. He was drunk. Right. I could smell the alcohol on his breath.
Right.
And then he hit me up on Instagram, and he just hit me up saying, what's up? Like something real brief, what's up? And then I responded, I was like, well, what's up with you? You still got a problem? And then he blocked me. So, man, Deandre Bonds, wherever you at, man, I hope you're doing well. I did nothing but help you when you was in prison. I did nothing but try to give you an internet presence when nobody was doing that for you, bro. I went to your mama's house, got photos and scanned them for you, put them on the internet for you. I created a MySpace page for you. I sent you the password for the MySpace. I mean, I did so many things. And for him to get out of prison and the first thing he does is try to woof, I was a little disappointed in the brother.
Yeah, see. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know all this. You just said it. You know what I'm saying? I just know the beginning part. I didn't know you did all this for him.
Yeah, and I'm sure people thought Swifty Blue was probably making millions of dollars, and that's going to be an issue, especially when you're dealing with the Mexican Mafia.
Right.
You know, you representing a Southsider hood in Paramount. Oh, you better kick up to the big homies.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't work out for him. I wonder what his status is now. That's my question. What's up with Swifty Blue now?
Shit, I wouldn't be sitting down with him at no jumper. I ain't about to be waiting outside. I'm coming outside standing there. Hell no.
No, I think the good thing about the organization is that they're not going to target people like you. You're not.
Man, bullets fly.
Oh, yeah, well, that's true, but they're not. First of all, they're not going to do a drive-by. You know about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they ain't going to do a drive. If they do a drive-by, they going to get the same thing Swifty Blue got in that cell.
Right.
When they get. In fact, I had a case where it was in the San Fernando Valley, where a big part of the case was, did this dude do a drive-by or did he not do a drive-by? I might do a video on it. So one of the dudes goes to his house, knocks on the door, and is like, hey, bro, we need to find out what happened. They saying you did a drive-by, man. You're going to get the whole hood greenlit. And the dude said, he recorded him. The dude said, I didn't do a drive-by. I opened up the door, I put 1 foot on the ground, and then I busted.
That's not a drive-by.
That's not a drive-by. But he didn't get out the car. So, I think it is a gray area. Like, you're supposed to get out the car and get up on your person. He didn't get out of the car and get up on the person, but he didn't do a drive-by. So that was an issue of whether or not that hood should have got a green light. So I don't think if Swifty Blue was to do a podcast, I would be very shocked if they just aired the whole place out. That's just not the way they get down.
Shit. Good luck, Swifty. I don't know his status, but shit, good luck.
I'll give you another example. In 1997, the Mexican Mafia ordered one dude to be killed. This guy named Dito in El Monte. So they told one guy on the streets, handle it. The guy on the streets gets a crew of like 3 or 4 people to go to Dito's house and kill him. What did these guys end up doing? They killed the whole family.
Sheesh.
It's called the Maxon murders. It happened on Maxon Street, I think. So when these guys got arrested and went to prison, a guy named Jimmy Palmer was the one that did like most of the dirt. As soon as he got to San Quentin, guess what happened to Jimmy Palmer?
He got hit.
They killed him. Because that made the news. They killed kids. They made the Mexican Mafia look like they're baby killers, they're kid killers. And as soon as Jimmy Palmer hit the yard, he got stuck.
As he should.
Yeah. And that's just the way that they operated. I know, based on reading the indictments and listening to the recordings, they did not tell anybody to go there and kill the whole family, right, including kids. But that's what this dude ended up doing, and it cost him his life when he got to prison. So I don't think any podcasters, I say all of that to say, even though that was 1997, generations do kind of change, I don't think they would air out a place for Swifty Blue.
I would hope. I would hope not. See.
Yeah, like if I was to do a podcast here with Swifty Blue, which I probably wouldn't, but if I was to do a podcast like that with Swifty Blue, I don't think they're gonna be on my head.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know too much about him to interview him. You know what I'm saying? And then I know he wouldn't want to talk about this green light thing. That's what I would want. I would want to talk about.
That's the only.
It ain't no reason to really interview him.
Yeah, and if you were gonna interview Swifty Blue, this is gonna be a big part of the interview that he ain't gonna talk about.
Right.
Unless he just decides to if he just decides to be a complete dropout, because you got a few dropouts that talk about this stuff. A couple of Northerners, they talk about this stuff all day long, but they're dropouts, and they don't show them, they don't pop out.
It's a whole dropout community on the internet. It's crazy. Crazy.
The way you said that is funny.
No, they got their own genre.
The dropouts got their own genre.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah. Well, I listen. I haven't seen. Bro hasn't popped up in my feed lately.
Oh,
Dubs. Is he still doing his thing?
I ain't never paid attention to even know. Like, I only hear when I used to listen to 16 to Life, and he be probably responding to something he said, or what I'm saying. I don't really know nothing about that.
Because some people said Dubs is a dropout, but Dubs doesn't talk. The thing about Dubs is
he still carry himself like he's still in good standings.
Correct. He doesn't talk about none of the stuff you ain't supposed to talk about. And I just looked up Dubs. Look, I'm subscribed to Dubs. I watch Dubs. I'm subscribed to him. I'm looking at it right now. Dubs has not popped up in my feed at all in the last month or so. And this is the tricks that YouTube be playing sometimes. I'm subscribed to this dude, and he hasn't popped up in my feed.
What you mean the tricks that you playing? Like you shadow ban?
No, I think sometimes YouTube feeds your content to a select number of your subscribers. They obviously don't send it to 100% of your subscribers, because if they did, you'd have way more views.
Right.
If you got 30,000 subscribers and they feeding your content to all your subscribers, you'd have 30,000 views. But they don't do that.
Right.
They the algorithm selects a portion of your subscribers to feed it to. So I can tell you right now, Dub's content is not being fed to me, even though I'm subscribed. You know.
No, he probably took a hiatus.
No. I'm just looking at it. He just did a video. Guess what his last video is about?
What?
Swifty Blue. Swifty Blue. So, he's still doing his thing. That's why I had to just double check real quick. Well, actually, no. His last video wasn't Swifty Blue. He just dropped a video an hour ago. Oh, guess what he just dropped an hour ago? We're about to close out this episode with this last topic.
What?
The last topic we're about to talk about. The Vice Mayor of Cudahy. Cudahy. The Vice Mayor of Cudahy is being investigated by the feds because of a video she posted on her social media where I guess it can be interpreted she's egging on the gangs. Let's play the clip. I believe that is going to be clip 4 of the Vice Mayor of Cudahy on her social media.
Not for nothing, but I want to know where all the cholos are at in Los Angeles. 18th Street, Florencia. Where's the leadership at? Because you guys are all about territory, and this is 18th Street, and this is Florencia. You guys tag everything up, claiming hood. And now that your hood's being invaded by the biggest gang there is, there ain't a peep out of you. It's everyone else who's not about the gang life that's out there protesting and speaking up. We're out there like fighting our turf, protecting our people. And like, where you at?
She got family members that's gang members for sure.
She grew. I guarantee you.
She grew up around some members.
Whatever high school she went to, she saw it all.
She dated them too.
And her name is Cynthia Gonzalez. That an article just posted on KTLA that the LAPD and the Los Angeles Police Union are calling for her resignation right now.
Damn, she made a mistake, man.
Yeah,
I feel for her.
Yeah,
I feel for her, man. You just worded that wrong, man. You shouldn't have said the gangs by gang names, man. You should say what's up with the soldiers and the people. You know what I'm saying? Something like. Hey man, I hate she said that because that's a big mistake. Like, cause the government, they go nitpick with her now. You know what I'm saying? And they could be like she trying to incite something, or I mean, but y'all left Trump alone. He had all them people storm the Capitol. He said that in front of the world. I'm gonna be right next to you guys. You go walk right now, and they hit peace officers, people that worked, all that. If y'all left Trump alone, y'all gotta leave her alone, bro.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen though.
I know it ain't, but I gotta throw it out there. You know what I'm saying? Because she said the same thing. Basically, Trump said, "No consequence for Trump." No.
Okay, so do you think there is an avenue for Miss Cynthia Gonzalez to double down and keep her job and tell everybody to stay off of her? Like Kevin De Leon, the LA council member, did this like 3 or 4 years ago when the audio came out of the racist stuff that these 3 Mexicans were saying. Kevin De Leon was one of them. The other 2 resigned. Kevin De Leon refused to resign, and he was able to keep his job. That wasn't illegal what he said, but it was definitely racist. I'm not sure if what Cynthia Gonzalez said is illegal, but the FBI is investigating her now.
Okay, but she could easily say, these gangs y'all tag on the walls and y'all all about territory, but why y'all not marching with your people? She didn't say that she wanted them to like go to war with them and do no like be violent towards ICE.
Yeah, I think you're right. She has a First Amendment. Even if she would have said, you gang members need to go out there and protest as hard as everybody else.
Right. Instead of being violent in the streets, tagging on walls, and worried about territory y'all don't own, help y'all people march. Because we don't see y'all out there with them. It's just the hardworking immigrants or the civilian immigrants that ain't the gangster ones. And I'm gonna just say that's what she meant, man. And it came out wrong.
Look, this is what the police are saying. They're saying because she cited 18th Street and Florencia, These are the two gangs that's probably been indicted and RICO'd more than any Latino gang. They're saying because these are notoriously dangerous Los Angeles-based criminal enterprises, they rule their turfs with intimidation, violence, and murder, and finance their operations through the sale of narcotics and illegal firearms, prostitution, and rackets. So they're going to use this against her she shouldn't have never said a gang name. That's where she messed up.
Right.
She should have just said, all you barrios out there, with the graffiti and the vandalism, everything else she said. But she said, 18th Street, Florencia, where y'all at?
Man, I hate that she did that.
Yeah, I think that is her mistake, is saying gang names.
I hate that she did that, man. Cause I feel where she coming from, man. You worded that wrong, baby.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So that's the hottest news right now. That's Dubs' latest video, and the breaking news. This article I just read just broke like an hour ago, calling for her resignation. 3 hours ago, Fox 11 just posted an interview on her, calling that Cudahy Vice Mayor Cynthia Gonzalez should resign and be prosecuted over cholos to defend streets comment. Now, I don't know if that's a possibility.
I think she should be forced to resign or face prosecution. If she resigned, don't prosecute her.
I don't. Oh man, that's tough because
that's what they did to Judge Dorn in Inglewood. He was forced to resign or face prosecution because he was stealing from the city. They gave him the choice.
Yeah, but that's criminal. Stealing from the city is definitely misappropriation of funds. But it's saying 18th Street, F13, go out there and protest. Is that criminal? But
she didn't say nothing violent. She didn't say go kill nobody or throw a rock at a car like they've been doing. She said, where y'all at?
Yeah, she said, I want to know where all you cholos are at in Los Angeles, 18th Street, Florencia. Where's the leadership at?
Right.
I don't think that's criminal.
No, she didn't express no violent anything. She just wanted to know, you know what I'm saying? Use that same leadership you used in your hood to lead these people and march and rally, you know what I'm saying?
And then she said, now your hood is being invaded by the biggest gang there is. There ain't no peep out of you.
But see the government looking at that the wrong way. That could be a shot at Florence in 18.
And then here's the last part. Don't be trying to claim no block, no nothing if you're not showing up right now trying to help out and organize.
Who said that? She said that?
Yeah, that was the last part of what
and that make it better.
Yeah.
Help out and organize. She didn't say nothing violent.
And she posted this to her TikTok and then she since deleted it, but you know how that go, right?
Man. I hate she threw specific gang names out there. That's the only mistake she really made, and I hope everything pan out for her.
Don't be trying to claim no block, no nothing if you're not gonna show up right now trying to help out and organize.
That the last part make all this sound a little better.
I don't want to hear a peep out of you once they're gone.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
She's, you could interpret this as she's challenging gang members to divert their energy into a legitimate cause,
right,
against a tyrannical government,
right.
You know, I wonder what Dub's take was on this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tap in with that after we wrap this up.
Yeah, I man, she need an interview, but I know she don't want to talk right now. She probably getting lawyered up, and you know what I'm saying, making sure she don't have to get prosecuted, But I wish her the best of luck, though, and I know she didn't mean it that way.
Well, she wrote in another post that she believes this is her First Amendment right issue, and I agree. I don't think that was illegal what she said.
Right.
But I understand the police are going to be on her head. You need to resign. You need to be fired. And I wonder what her salary is over there, because I remember when Kevin De Leon was being forced to resign. You know, LA City Council members make $200,000 plus a year. Something like $16,000 a month, and he had just bought a house. Bro wasn't going to resign. They was picketing in front of his house, and Kevin De Leon stayed until that next election when he got voted out. So right. I don't think she's making the type of money that you would make in Los Angeles as a vice mayor. Vice mayor. I wonder what the vice mayor's salary is. What do you think? Vice mayor salary in Cudahy. Vice mayor salary. Let me just look this up real quick, because sometimes that will determine whether somebody will step down or not. Because I had my boy who was a council member in Compton. You know, council members in Compton don't make nothing.
Right.
You know, it's not a job.
I think Cudahy is smaller than Compton.
It's not a job you do for the money when you're a council member in Compton. Oh, wow. According to the Cudahy Municipal Code section, each city council member receives a monthly salary of $1,200.
And that's it?
This compensation follows, $1,200, but it also comes with full benefits, though. So the benefits is probably worth another $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. But actual cash, $1,200. That ain't nothing.
No, it ain't.
So I don't know if, and that means the vice mayor is probably making a little bit. Okay, let's see. Sources indicate that the vice mayor of the Cudahy is a city council member, but the specific salary for the vice mayor is not listed. So it's going to be around that $1,200, maybe a little more than the $1,200 a month.
Probably like $2,500.
And that's similar to Compton. You ain't making no money as a council member in Compton. You ain't getting rich there. You're doing that because you're passionate about your community.
About your city, yeah. Probably born and raised, and you know.
But you're a council member in the city of Los Angeles and making like $200 and something thousand a year. It's insane. So what do you think? Is Cynthia Gonzalez going to step down?
I think she about to try to stand on it. She put it out there that's her First Amendment right. I think she gonna try to, you know what I'm saying, lawyer up and stand on it.
Hey, she should have never deleted it then. You know, delete it because it's already out and now it's all over the internet. It's all over the news.
Right.
So delete it. Like you said this in a previous episode. I forgot who we were talking about. They shouldn't have deleted it. That was the Diddy. Was it the Diddy trial?
I don't think it was nothing with Diddy.
Somebody posted something. They deleted it, and you was like, man, they should have stand on it.
I can't remember.
Yeah. And Cynthia Gonzalez, she should have stood on it. She should have kept that TikTok video up there.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
Shout out Cynthia. I wish you the best of luck, man.
Hopefully that the First Amendment will kick in. Let's see. Okay, Mayor Flores from Huntington Park, he says that Cynthia Gonzalez is a personal friend. I know her. I know she wouldn't call for violence. Words are important. You have to be careful with what you say and how you say it.
Right.
Boom.
I agree with bro.
So she's got some people already defending her.
Right.
Let's see. In a statement, the Los Angeles Police Protective League, which is the union that represents the LAPD, called for the immediate resignation. They said what Ms. Gonzalez urged and taunted these specific gangs to do in her social media posts puts police officers and other law enforcement professionals at greater risk. Her actions are deplorable and potentially illegal. She should resign and she should be prosecuted if what she called for broke the law. See, even the LA Protective League doesn't know if it's illegal because they said...
Because she said they need to get out there and organize.
Yeah, she said in this quote, it could be potentially illegal, and she should be prosecuted if she broke the law. They don't even know.
No, stand on it, Cynthia.
Yeah.
Fight that to the end. You got support from other mayors in the surrounding cities, and you know what I mean. Our governor probably agree with you. So stand on it.
Yeah. All right. Any last statements regarding the 607 Unc before we wrap this up? That's been kind of a big Munchie B viral item this last week.
Man, I think you should take a different angle, man, because his whole gimmick is to have a joke with the gang culture or whatever. I think people got this shit tatted all on their face. They ain't playing with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you ain't got enough material or whatever. But you know what I mean? He said, "Yeah, apologize. I ain't tripping on the dude, whatever." You know what I'm saying? That's what that is.
Hey, I wonder if Cynthia Gonzalez can say, "Hey, I was just trolling, y'all."
Nah, hell no.
Nah, a politician can't get away with that.
Politicians can't troll. The only one that control is Trump. The only one that control.
Yeah, that's a fact. That is a fact. Trump actually trolls. As a politician, he trolls and gets away with it and got reelected.
And trolled. And Trump did what she did, and people actually got hurt. So people got to keep that in mind, bro.
Yeah. This shit is hilarious. But, all right. Munchie B YouTube channel. Tap in. What you got coming up?
Munchie B, the Mayor YouTube channel. I'm about to drop some more content. Everybody just tap in with that.
All right. And I'm Alex Alonso 101. Tap in with me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. I just posted on my personal YouTube page, Alex Alonso 101. I just posted an old behind the scenes, never before seen clip with Munchie B, Red Bull, and Baby Dot. And it's probably the most that you'll ever hear Red Bull talk. Because the interview wasn't about Red Bull. But I got him on that short 3-minute clip talking. And that's on the Alex Alonso 101 channel. And we're on all podcast platforms, Spotify, iHeart, and Apple. And we out.